Every morning, millions of seniors unknowingly gamble with their lives. One skipped breakfast. One, I'll eat later. And that tiny decision can trigger strokes, heart attacks, memory loss, even early death. Doctors call it the silent trigger, because the damage doesn't show up immediately. But inside the body, skipping breakfast sets off a dangerous chain reaction. Unstable blood sugar, sudden blood pressure spikes, and stress hormones flooding the system. And the shocking truth? Seniors who skip breakfast are 2 times more likely to die from cardiovascular disease than those who eat in the morning. This is not about being hungry. It's about survival. Today you'll discover why skipping breakfast can be deadly for seniors, and what you can do to protect your heart, your brain, and your future. For decades, breakfast has been called the most important meal of the day. But somewhere along the way, many seniors began to believe skipping it was harmless. Some think it helps them lose weight. Others feel they simply aren't hungry in the morning. The truth is far more dangerous. When you're over 60, your body no longer responds to skipped meals the way it did at 20 or 30. Your metabolism is slower. Your blood vessels are stiffer. Your brain is more sensitive to changes in blood sugar and oxygen flow. Skipping breakfast doesn't just mean waiting a few hours to eat. For seniors, it can mean starving the brain of fuel, forcing the heart to overwork, and triggering stress hormones that silently damage blood vessels. Scientists have found that older adults who regularly miss breakfast face higher risks of heart attacks, strokes, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline. And these risks don't show up immediately. They build silently over months and years, hidden until one morning, a crisis strikes. Imagine this. You wake up feeling fine, but your blood sugar is unstable because you skipped breakfast yesterday. Then you decide to skip again today. By noon, your heart is under strain, your brain feels foggy, and your blood pressure is unpredictable. You might not notice until dizziness, chest pain, or memory slips appear. That's the danger. It's invisible until it's too late. And this is why we must explore step by step what really happens inside the body. When seniors skip breakfast. Next, we'll uncover the physical effects, the changes in blood, hormones, and organs that make this habit deadly. When a senior skips breakfast, the body immediately enters a stress state. Glucose, the brain's main fuel, drops below its normal morning level. The brain, desperate for energy, signals the adrenal glands to release cortisol. The stress hormone. Cortisol spikes cause blood pressure to rise sharply. For someone over 60, whose arteries may already be stiff or partially clogged, this sudden pressure is dangerous. It increases the risk of tiny vessel ruptures in the brain and can push the heart into overdrive. Next, insulin levels swing. Without food, insulin sensitivity drops, and when the first meal finally arrives, blood sugar surges dramatically. This sugar roller coaster damages blood vessels, feeds inflammation, and accelerates arterial plaque buildup. Meanwhile, the stomach produces acid, preparing for food that never comes. Over time, this irritates the stomach lining, increasing risks of gastritis or ulcers in seniors. Another hidden danger. Skipping breakfast reduces blood flow to muscles. Older adults already lose muscle mass more quickly. Without morning nutrients, muscles weaken further, balance worsens, and the risk of falls and fractures climbs. Doctors observing seniors who miss breakfast regularly have noticed higher rates of morning dizziness, irregular heartbeat, sudden fatigue, blood pressure spikes. It's not simply hunger. It's the body being pushed into survival mode each morning. And when survival mode repeats daily, it silently damages every major organ. To illustrate this, consider a study from the American Heart Association. Seniors who skipped breakfast were 21% more likely to suffer blocked arteries and 36% more likely to experience a heart attack compared to those who ate regularly. Scientists explain that the body, when deprived of morning fuel, activates emergency pathways that strain the cardiovascular system day after day. Real-life stories make this clearer. Helen, a 70-year-old retiree, often skipped breakfast to save calories. She felt fine at first, but gradually developed morning palpitations and dizziness. One morning, after standing up quickly, she fainted due to a sudden blood pressure surge. Doctors later explained that years of breakfast skipping had weakened her vascular response. Another overlooked effect: hydration. Seniors often wake up slightly dehydrated. If they also skip food, the body lacks both fluids and electrolytes in the critical morning window. This leads to thicker blood, which is harder for the heart to pump and increases clotting risk. A single skipped breakfast may not trigger a stroke, but after years, the strain accumulates like rust eating away at a machine. Think of the senior body as a car engine that has sat overnight in the cold. Breakfast is like the oil that lubricates the system and warms the parts. Without it, the engine still runs, but under heavy strain, burning out faster. So while many people view skipping breakfast as harmless, the physical reality is harsh. Hormonal imbalance, acid irritation, vascular strain, muscle decline, dehydration, stress, all of these silently erode health with each passing year. But physical strain is only half the story. Skipping breakfast also takes a heavy toll on the mind and emotions, and that's what we'll uncover next. When seniors skip breakfast, the first organ to feel the shock isn't the stomach, it's the brain. The human brain consumes nearly 20% of the body's energy, and it relies on a steady supply of glucose. Without it, mental performance begins to drop quickly. Within just a few hours of skipping breakfast, many seniors experience brain fog and difficulty concentrating, short-term memory lapses, slower reaction times, irritability, or sudden mood swings. These aren't minor inconveniences. For someone already at risk of dementia or mild cognitive impairment, skipping breakfast can accelerate decline. The brain cells starve, the connections weaken, and over time, memory loss worsens. Emotions also shift. Low blood sugar triggers irritability, anxiety, and even mild depression. Seniors who live alone may not notice this change, but their loved ones often see a difference: less patience, less energy, and a tendency to withdraw socially. There's another hidden effect. Skipping breakfast reduces the brain's ability to regulate serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Lower serotonin means less motivation, less joy, and more restlessness. This cycle can trap seniors in negative moods, reducing quality of life day after day. And then comes the most dangerous outcome: decision-making suffers. A senior with low morning energy is more likely to forget medication, make poor food choices later, or skip exercise, creating a spiral of unhealthy habits. Science confirms this. Researchers at Oxford University found that older adults who skipped breakfast performed significantly worse on memory and attention tests compared to those who ate even a small meal. Their reaction times were slower, and they made more errors on simple tasks. Imagine the risks this creates in daily life, from forgetting to turn off the stove to mismanaging important prescriptions. Let's make it real with a story. George, age 74, prided himself on staying active. But he often skipped breakfast, believing it saved time. Over months, his wife noticed changes. He grew short-tempered in the mornings, misplaced keys more often, and lost interest in his daily walks. Eventually, after a small accident where he forgot to lock the front door, his doctor advised him to eat breakfast consistently. Within weeks, his mood stabilized, his focus improved, and his energy returned. The connection is clear. Breakfast isn't just about food, it's brain protection. Seniors who eat a balanced breakfast report feeling more alert, more optimistic, and more capable of handling daily challenges. Those who don't often describe the opposite: fatigue, sadness, and confusion. Consider serotonin again. When serotonin dips, motivation fades. Seniors may skip social activities, avoid exercise, or feel overwhelmed by simple tasks. Social withdrawal deepens loneliness, which further harms mental health. This is how a skipped breakfast sets off a chain reaction that can end in depression or cognitive decline. And let's not forget the risk of mistakes. A senior who starts the day unfueled may forget to take crucial blood pressure pills or insulin injections. These aren't just small errors. They can trigger life-threatening consequences. The mental and emotional costs of skipping breakfast don't just hurt daily life. They set the stage for deeper, long-term health problems. When the brain is deprived of fuel every morning, the damage accumulates silently, preparing the ground for serious disease. Have you ever noticed feeling grumpy or foggy on mornings when you didn't eat? Share your experience in the comments. You might realize you're not alone. And that brings us to the hidden long-term risks, the silent consequences that build over years and suddenly strike. The most dangerous part of skipping breakfast is not what happens in one morning. It's what happens after months and years. Studies following older adults show a clear pattern. Seniors who routinely skip breakfast face double the risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who eat regularly. This is because the body slowly adapts to morning stress by hardening arteries, raising average blood pressure, and increasing cholesterol levels. Long-term consequences include higher rates of strokes and heart attacks, greater risk of type 2 diabetes, accelerated cognitive decline and dementia-weakened immune system, leaving the body vulnerable to infections, increased osteoporosis and frailty due to poor nutrient absorption, but it doesn't stop there. Seniors who don't eat breakfast often compensate later with heavy, unhealthy meals. This puts extra strain on the pancreas, liver, and kidneys, organs that are already less efficient with age. Over time, the body is pushed into chronic inflammation, the root cause of most deadly diseases. Consider this. Researchers in Japan followed nearly 80,000 adults for over 15 years. Those who skipped breakfast had significantly higher rates of both cardiovascular disease and stroke. The risk wasn't tied to weight or exercise. It was tied directly to the missing morning meal. And here's another hidden danger: bone health. Seniors who miss breakfast often miss out on calcium, vitamin D, and protein at a critical time of day. Over decades, this accelerates bone loss, increases fractures, and leads to frailty. A hip fracture at age 70 or 80 can steal independence permanently. Real-life stories drive the point home. Margaret, age 72, thought skipping breakfast was harmless. She ate salads for lunch and light dinners, convinced she was living healthy. But after years, she developed brittle bones and suffered a hip fracture after a minor fall. Her doctors later noted she had long-term nutrient deficiencies worsened by missing her morning meal. And here's the twist. Even if you eat healthy foods later in the day, the damage from missing the morning meal has already started. The body needs energy early, when cortisol is high and cells are most responsive. The window for protecting your brain, heart, and energy is in the first hours after waking. Once that window closes, the system has already shifted into stress mode. That's why doctors call breakfast the metabolic reset button. Miss it, and you reset your body in the wrong direction. Over time, this misalignment erodes resilience and shortens lifespan, silently, without obvious warning until it's too late. So the question is, what's the hidden connection between skipping breakfast and diseases like dementia or sudden heart attacks? That unexpected link is what we'll uncover next. Most people think the danger of skipping breakfast is simply feeling hungry. But scientists have uncovered something shocking. Seniors who skip breakfast are not just missing calories, they are triggering the same biological pathways as chronic stress and early aging. In fact, brain scans show that seniors who regularly skip breakfast have reduced blood flow to the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory. This is the same region damaged early in Alzheimer's disease. Even more surprising, skipping breakfast doubles the likelihood of sudden cardiac death in older adults, not because of what they eat later, but because of the hormonal storm that happens every morning without food. Think of it this way. Each skipped breakfast is like adding a single brick to a wall. You don't notice the danger at first, but one day the wall collapses, in the form of a heart attack, stroke, or rapid memory loss. Doctors at the University of Iowa followed thousands of adults over 20 years. They found those who skipped breakfast were far more likely to die from cardiovascular disease, even when their diet later in the day was healthy. This proves the damage happens in the first hours of the morning, when the body is most vulnerable. Here's a real-life example. Margaret, a 72-year-old woman, believed skipping breakfast would help her lose weight. After years of this habit, she suffered a sudden stroke, despite having no obvious warning signs. Her doctors later explained that decades of morning stress on her blood vessels finally broke through. This is why experts no longer see breakfast as optional. For seniors, It is as essential as medication. Miss it often enough and you're silently building a time bomb inside your body. Quick question for you. Do you usually eat breakfast, or do you sometimes skip it? Type your answer in the comments. You'll be surprised how many others are struggling with the same habit. Now that we know the shocking truth, the next step is practical. What lessons can we take, and what simple changes can protect seniors immediately? That's what we'll explore next. Now that we've uncovered the hidden dangers, the question becomes, what can seniors actually do to protect themselves? The first lesson: never skip breakfast. Even something light, like oatmeal, yogurt, or fruit, gives your body the signal to stabilize blood sugar, protect the heart, and fuel the brain. Think of it as turning on your metabolism each morning. Without this step, the system runs in crisis mode. Second, prioritize protein and fiber. A breakfast with eggs, nuts, or whole grains helps control hunger, keeps energy steady, and reduces dangerous sugar spikes. Protein preserves muscle mass while fiber keeps digestion smooth and cholesterol in check. Together they act like a shield against both diabetes and heart disease. Third, hydrate early. After hours of sleep, dehydration worsens blood pressure and brain fog. A glass of water with breakfast restores balance immediately. Adding lemon or herbal tea can further refresh the body and gently wake up the digestive system. Fourth, consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need a gourmet meal every morning. What matters is eating something healthy at roughly the same time each day, so your body builds a protective rhythm. This steady timing helps regulate hormones like cortisol and insulin, preventing those dangerous morning spikes. Fifth, personalize your breakfast. Seniors with diabetes, hypertension, or kidney disease may need specific adjustments. For example, someone with high blood pressure should watch sodium in processed breakfast foods, while those with diabetes may benefit from pairing carbs with protein to slow glucose absorption. That's why doctors recommend working with a nutritionist to tailor meals. Sixth, keep it simple and sustainable. The most effective routines are the ones you can repeat. A banana with peanut butter, a slice of whole grain toast with eggs, or Greek yogurt with berries. None require much cooking, but each delivers steady fuel for the body and brain. Real-life example. John, age 68, used to skip breakfast, drinking only coffee. After suffering constant fatigue, he switched to a simple routine: oatmeal with berries and green tea. Within weeks, his blood pressure stabilized, his mood improved, and his doctor noted lower cholesterol levels. His story proves that even small adjustments can transform health. Try this. Write down your current breakfast habit in the comments. Then, think of one small change you can make tomorrow morning. Maybe adding fruit, swapping white bread for whole grain, or simply drinking water before coffee. You might inspire someone else who's struggling. Because the lesson is clear. Breakfast isn't just about food. It's about protecting your heart, brain, and independence. And to close this story, we'll tie everything together with a powerful conclusion and give you a teaser for the next life-saving video. We've uncovered a truth that too many people ignore. For seniors, skipping breakfast isn't just a habit, it's a hidden health risk that can shorten life. The evidence is undeniable. Skipping breakfast strains the heart and weakens blood vessels. It clouds the brain, worsens mood, and erodes memory. Over time, it silently doubles the risk of strokes, heart attacks, and dementia. But here's the good news. Change is simple. One small adjustment, eating a balanced breakfast daily, can protect your heart, fuel your brain, and extend your life. Think of it this way. Every healthy morning meal is like depositing money into a longevity savings account. Each day you choose breakfast, you're building protection against disease, storing up energy, and securing independence for the future. Many seniors who once skipped breakfast and later made the switch report powerful changes. Steadier moods, better focus, fewer dizzy spells, and more confidence in daily life. These aren't small wins, they are life-changing victories. So as you finish this video, ask yourself, what will you eat tomorrow morning? Your answer could decide not just how you feel for the day, but how healthy you remain for the years to come. If this story opened your eyes, share it with a friend, a parent, or a neighbor. It might save their life. And subscribe to Vital Health Tales so you never miss the next hidden truth that could protect your health. Because in our next video, we'll reveal another shocking danger, the everyday healthy drink that may silently increase your risk of dementia. It's something almost every household consumes, and the truth will surprise you. Stay with us. Your health journey has only just begun.